Trevor Kavanagh. Welcome, Trevor.
Hi, Kevin. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Before we get on to the subject at hand, which of course is Never Hear Keir's latest foreign trip, this one worryingly to China, let me ask you what you think about this, because I think we might have reached peak crisis with what I'm no longer going to beat about the bush is the BBC's anti-Semitism problem. It was extraordinary yesterday. 3 bulletins, 3 programmes talked about the horror of the extermination, not of 6 million Jews, but of 6 million people. They went out of their way to eliminate the Jewish aspect to the Holocaust, which I always thought was kind of central to the equation. Watch this.
27th of January, Holocaust Memorial Day, a day for remembering the 6 million people who were murdered by the Nazi regime over 80 years ago.
Now, today marks Holocaust Memorial Day, a day for remembering the 6 million people who were murdered by the Nazi regime over 80 years ago.
Today marks Holocaust Memorial Day, a day for remembering the 6 million people who were murdered by the Nazi regime over 80 years ago.
Now, Trevor, the BBC has apologised for this and said, oh, the wording was incorrect, and then they've issued a statement full of all the marvellous reporting of Holocaust Memorial Day that they actually did do yesterday. OK, fair enough. But that's extraordinary. It is extraordinary that 3 different programmes failed to mention that the people exterminated by the Nazis in the Second World War, in those horrific concentration camps and the gas chambers, were Jewish. I think we have a real crisis now. This is it. We've reached the point where something has to be done, because our national broadcaster, our state broadcaster that we're forced to pay for by law, 180 quid a year, without a shadow of a doubt, in my view, has an anti-Semitism problem, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think anyone could possibly dispute, Kevin, that this was a calculated and deliberate, as it turns out, an insult to the Jewish people, and indeed to the common decency of those who look upon the Jewish people as a victim of genocide. This is the whole point. The very word genocide was introduced specifically to describe what happened during the Holocaust. It wasn't a general term until the United Nations and the other bodies involved in the investigations into the concentration camps worked out what word would be appropriate. And the only word they came up with specifically related to the deaths of 6 million Jewish people was genocide. It doesn't apply to anyone else. It means wiping out a whole race, exterminating the Jewish people. So, you know, nobody at the BBC writing the script for those 4 broadcasts, I think there were 4, could possibly have not known that that was the case, even in general terms, if not specifically, that the Holocaust was the slaughter of 6 million Jews.
Exactly right. And across those 3 programmes, hundreds of people will have come into contact with those bulletins, with the script, with the production. You're telling me that nobody said, you don't think maybe we should mention that the victims of the Holocaust were Jewish? Do you think maybe that might be sort of relevant? There's a problem there. As I say, we have always here, I think a lot of journalists have walked on eggshells. It's a bit like specifically accusing Jeremy Corbyn of anti-Semitism. No, 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 it's not that. I just have a problem with the state of Israel and all that kind of stuff. Well, now I'm not going to walk on eggshells. I say right here and now the BBC has a huge anti-Semitism problem, and they revealed it yesterday, and they better do something about it. It is beyond the pale now.
It's time to unite the kingdom.